Good morning, Philadelphia Eagles fans, and good morning, NFL fans, to week 11 of the 2025-26 football season. Where this week, actually later on tonight, here in Philadelphia about 8:20, our Philadelphia Eagles are going to be taking on the Detroit Lions in what people are saying is a potential NFC championship game preview for this season. There's a lot of good teams out there. A lot of the good teams are in the NFC, and these are two of them. Going into this game here in Philadelphia, our Eagles are actually sitting at the number one seed. Right? There's a lot of teams that are right there in the mix. Surprisingly, I believe the number 2 seed right now would be the Seattle Seahawks. You have a lot of teams out there, like the Rams are out there, San Francisco's out there, Green Bay's still up there. Minnesota is flying around. Tampa Bay is right there. A lot of good teams, right? The Lions are right there. The Lions, you always have to talk about the Lions because they're coached well with Campbell. They have an explosive offense, very explosive offense that can just flat out put up points. And you just never know what's going to happen, right? Now, last week, obviously, Detroit played against the Commanders and played against Marcus Mariota, okay? They put up, I believe, 44 points against them. I think it was 44-22. There's some goods and there's some bads to look at that, right? Where the good for Detroit is that they put up 44 points. Anytime you put up 40-plus points against anybody, I don't care who it is, it takes a level of skill. These are all professional athletes, professional teams, that it takes a lot in order to dominate another team like that, right? But on the bad side, Marcus Mariota had a pretty good game against them. And obviously, he's not their top quarterback, right? So that means that defense is susceptible to getting passed on, which is something that in big games, the Eagles can do. Also, Detroit is known for having potentially one of the best lines, if not the best offensive line in football right now. Okay, let's take that on board. What does that mean, though? It means that against some teams, they've been able to get their run game going with Gibbs and Montgomery, which allows for their passing game with Williams and Brown and Laporta, that might not be playing, gets them going, which allows for Goff to have a lot more time in the pocket, get comfortable, and just start dishing it. And once you get a team off balanced like that, where they don't know what to expect with the run and the pass, then it's game over when you're playing a team like the Detroit Lions. Okay. And like I said before, I believe they're well coached, right? Campbell's a stand-up kind of guy. I think he would actually work out well in Philly as well. But there's always something that comes up with Detroit, right? Detroit has a hard time sometimes in big games, especially when it comes to like the playoffs. Now, during the regular season, it's a huge game. By all means, this is a big game. And Campbell has come out straight up and even voiced his opinions on the brotherly shove. And he's not one of these coaches that's saying it should be banned. He's more hardcore about saying, look, if you start banning that, what are you going to end it at? You're going to start banning everything. No, figure out a way to stop it, right? And make no excuses, complaints. And either you learn how to stop it or you just get dominated. So you got to respect a coach like that, right? Not like a coach like in Green Bay that's going to be complaining about stuff or other teams. So I like his style. Unfortunately, though, he's going against my Eagles. So this week, I'm not really a Campbell fan, right? For our Philadelphia Eagles. Now, that signing of Phillips looks to be a pretty awesome signing. I kind of can't believe, based on what we were able to give up, because we gave up a 3rd-round pick for Phillips, getting him from Miami, and he absolutely dominated against the Green Bay Packers. Lots of rushes, forced fumbles, fumble recovery. That looked like a slam dunk right there. And we're getting people back, like we have like Nolan Smith back, Nakobe Dean around there, Brandon Graham. our defense and our defensive line just got a lot of help. Just got a lot of help. The perfect time that we needed it too. Our linebacking core, a lot of help. That's a good thing. Zach Bond's still playing at a really good level. Jahad Campbell, like, we have a lot of good things going on about our defense. Except for one thing, that, man, we have not been able to hit on that other corner. And we're going against a lot of wide receivers right now. We just talked about Williams and Brown and the tight end coming out, but like I said, he might be injured. Now is not the time to have a weakness on one side, and we have Adoree Jackson. Because we have Q on this side here, and all the slot we have Coop. Okay, got Blankenship, and Kuba back there at safety. It looks like our defense overall is solid, except for that one corner that's an unknown, because we've been trying to get a bunch of different free agents, and hopefully one of them sticks, and none of them have yet. And using Keely Ringo has not worked. Using all these the guy we got from the Raiders. I mean, there's so many different packages that we've been trying, and it seems like they will pick on the one person on our defense to go after. So Adoree Jackson, this week, it's you, you're up, especially against this Detroit offense. The real key is actually slowing down. I like what Seth Joyner said. The real key is actually slowing down their running game, right? Because if you make them one-dimensional, especially, okay, if it goes hand in hand with our offense scoring points too. But if you slow down Montgomery and Gibbs, right, and make them one-dimensional, also while our offense is scoring points, then you can get after them with blitzing and our pass rush. Once you do that, and Goff doesn't have time, he gets flustered, starts throwing you into the ground, can't do anything, then we dominate. It's got to be like a team effort, right? So we got to be scoring points on offense, which we'll get to that in a second, right? But we got to slow down that run game. Our run defense was actually really good against the Packers. We have to do that again against the Lions. But yes, obviously, the last piece that I'm going to bring up down here in Center City, Philly, yes, I'm back here first thing in the morning, 5-something in the morning, is our offense. We scored 10 points against the Packers and still found a way to win. Yes, because of our defense, a rare turnover by Jalen Hurts when he fumbled in the red zone last week against the Packers. But realistically, what happened is we were able to hold as much as possible, right? And then score when we needed to. It was not sexy. It wasn't 40 points or so. It was what we needed to win. Saquon caught that ball right off to the side, ran up the field. Next thing you know, we're throwing to Devontae Smith. Eagles win 10-7. Close game, but that's what good teams do. But also, yes, we are continuously dealing with A.J. Brown. You can't talk about the Philadelphia Eagles right now without talking about A.J. Brown. But I'll tell you what, this is what I love so much about Jalen Hurts. He's a lot different than what we have seen in the past with, like, Donovan McNabb. That whole relationship with T.O. and Donovan could look the same as Jalen and A.J., but it doesn't because of the maturity of Jalen Hurts. Being able to be calm, collected, level-headed about this whole situation is what's allowing for the distractions not to take over our entire team and allowing us to continue to win, even if it's not pretty, allowing us to continue to win, which is exactly what we want to do here in Philly. We want to go back into the playoffs as the #1 seed. We want to run the table. Me personally, and this is just my thoughts that have been eerily correct all the time when it comes to the Eagles, I think we're holding a lot of stuff back. I don't think we want to play all of our cards this early in the season, so I think we're keeping it vanilla for a reason, right? And we're keeping it vanilla so later in the season, right, when we have things already locked up, then we're gonna start getting really creative, and teams aren't gonna know how to scout us. I actually think that, right? I think we show a little bit more and try to do a little bit of a shootout with Detroit today and see how much our defense is actually holding. But for some reason, I think we're just holding a lot of stuff back, and then we're gonna turn it up in the playoffs. That's what I'm gonna call right now. So, without thinking too far ahead, this week, we're here at home, and it's like 50-something degrees right now. I love it, right? That's why it's not as cold on my shoulders right now, and I'm okay. You know I do this all season long, so when it gets really, really cold, these videos are definitely not gonna be like 10 minutes or so. But this is what we're dealing with tonight, okay? Tonight, we're dealing with a Detroit team that's trying to come into our house and leave with a victory and get closer to a top seed in the NFC. Tonight, we're gonna deal with all the haters out there that say that offense can't do it. Tonight, we're gonna deal with, once again, like we had to deal with last year when Detroit was the #1 seed, talking about how they're gonna come in here and whoop us. We're dealing with the unbelievers, as usual. The Super Bowl champs are dealing with the unbelievers. That's nothing new here at Philly, right? Anybody that's been doubted their entire life, you just get used to it. You don't have anything to prove to other people. You actually more or less prove it to yourself. That you have what it takes in order to continue to succeed, continue moving forward, and continue to win. And that's exactly what I expect from my Philadelphia Eagles tonight when we play the Detroit Lions. So as you know we do every single week down here in Philadelphia, let's do the video at home, right? We're all heart all day. Nothing's gonna break us, nothing's gonna shut us down. Even if we lose, we bounce back, but that's not gonna happen this week. Our birds are gonna rock the Detroit Lions here at home. We're gonna show everybody why we're the #1 seed right now. We're gonna continue all the way through. The reason why we won the Super Bowl last year, and we're gonna do it again this year. So like we always do, let's go birds, baby. E-I-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Let's go birds, baby. Woo!